Today on In the Woodyard, we've got a package. It's from Canada. And it's an export, a special export just for me. Here we go. So here it is. Now I know some of you probably know what this is already. Some of you have been asking for this now for, probably about a year. It's a part for a machine that I have that everybody thinks is not adequate. They think my part is too small. And this is a bigger part. At least that's what I think it is. So we're going to open it up right now. Let's see what we got here. There's a lot of paperwork in here. So we'll see. Oh, look at this. All kinds of conditions and all kinds of requirements. And let's see what it says here. Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting. So I had to go through a brokerage and everything here. It's valued. It weighs 30 pounds. And it came from somewhere in Canada. That's all I can say. So, we're going to open her up. Let's see what we got here. I actually got it a couple days ago, but I didn't know that it came in because it got shipped to a different place because I had the original shipment to a different place when I got the product that this goes for. But holy smokes, look at the bubble wrap. My nieces and nephews are going to go nuts on that stuff. Whoa, looky here. It is heavy. There it is. It's a piece of blue equipment. Most of you know what this is. Some of you may not. I will show you what it is. I'll lay it down here. I just happened to know what it was. It's going to replace this right here. The itty bitty push plate. It's a bigger push plate. So this goes on my Eastonmade ULTRA that I bought a little over a year ago now. And everybody thinks I needed a bigger push plate. So here it is, a bigger push plate. So we'll see what happens. Looks simple enough. I think all I got to do is take off the bolts on the bottom of the old one right here, take the bolts off of this one, and then probably unbolt the other one, slide this down, rebolt it on, and it should be good to go. And I've got some wood to split, so we're going to go slap this puppy on and do a little bit of splitting. So let's get started. So Andrew Eastman is a man of his word. He said he was going to send one to me, and there it is. I didn't ask, didn't call, didn't beg, didn't do anything. He just said he was going to send it, and it came. And he's a busy boy, as you guys know, with him just buying his dad's bells processing business and changing that over, moving to a whole nother building, hiring a whole bunch, dozens of new employees, and he's growing like weeds in a field right now, so I would imagine he's pretty busy doing stuff. So thank you very much, Andrew, for sending it. I'm going to put it to use, and I will use it until it wears out, just like I do everything else. Even though the metal is heavy and thick, I'll probably just wear this right down to where it's probably like tin foil. So we're going to put it on right now. Ooh, it's slippery. We're going to put it on right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start the splitter up and extend out this push plate out so that I can get at it easier, not have to be by all the controls here. Wipe it down and start taking parts off, taking nuts off, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll start her up. I haven't started this in probably almost 3 or 4 weeks now. Well, there we go. It started. First pull, easy. For some reason, somebody's got a whole bunch of oil and grease on this thing. Somebody greases this up a lot. I wonder who would do such a thing. But that's good. That way it doesn't rust. So I'm going to talk about some things while I'm doing this. Questions that have come up and comments that people make about what I do and how I do it. And I never claim to be an expert. I just do what works for me and keep moving on. And I do get a lot of good comments from all you guys and girls that comment on the channel and tell me what I'm doing wrong, tell me what I'm doing right. And I learn as much from you guys as you do from me. I hope you know that. And like I say, I never claimed to be an expert. I'm just a guy with a chainsaw and a splitting maul. And I like to work outside and smack pieces of wood. That's pretty much about it. So, got it wiped down a little bit. And one of the things that I get asked, I'm told I'm doing wrong or right all the time, is that I use waste oil on my metal-on-metal contact here where the push plate slides and everything. But I use quite a bit of it, and I did have a problem getting the wedge out this year, but it had been in there for almost a whole year, and I had split hundreds of cords of wood. And what happened over time was right along this edge here, there was sand getting in there and dirt, and so it just built up. And there's enough space actually in front of the wedge here that the oil did not bother that sand or anything. It was dry back in there, and a lot of people said, oh, it's the waste oil, it's the waste oil. Well, that wasn't the problem. It was the fact that I had never taken the wedge off. And now that I take it off occasionally and just clean it out is all it needs to be. And the reason I use the waste oil, number one, because it's free, number two, because it's free, number three, because it's free and it works. I don't want to use a product I have to buy and then not use very much of it. I want to use a lot of it and just let it go. And by using the waste oil, it keeps everything nice and clean and lubricated. I know it looks messy, and I'm going to wipe this all up and clean it off, but it's not rusting that way either. I got a little bit of rust here on this push plate because I haven't used it in about 3-4 weeks. So, but yeah, that's what I'm going to keep using because it works, and it works fine for me. So let's take this thing apart. Okay, hopefully I think you can see from there. I think I got it aiming about where the nuts are or bolts are, and oh, they're not even very tight. I thought for sure they were going to be a lot harder to get off. But no, they're not tight at all. At least that one wasn't. That one's a lot tighter, but it's coming off just fine. It's very oily for some reason. I guess that's better than being rusted on. Here we go. Now it's coming off. There we go. Oh, interesting. That's all oily too. And you can see all the gunk built up underneath there. And just got a little bit of wear on it, but not like I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot more wear than what it's got. So here you can see the wear on it. You guys can see that. Yeah, you can feel a little bit of wear there and a little bit there, but not terrible. I mean, that's 1/2 inch or maybe more than that thick steel. This little plate right here is heavy. That's done. Here's the plate, and you can see where right here is that it's where it's worn from sliding back and forth in there, but it's very minimal. You can just barely feel it. I put the gloves on because I didn't want to get my hands all greasy again for handling the camera. But yeah, so that's done there, and it's almost a good thing that I got it when I did, because those nuts were not tight. They were loose, and if I would have kept going, splitting for a while, as loose as they were, I might have developed a problem, and I might have lost some bolts or something. So now I'm going to take off this bolt right here, and then I'll push the ram forward a little bit more, stop it, and then I'll pull the ram off, or back of this the plate off, and then be able to drop the new one in pretty easily. So pretty simple change, and that's one of the things I like about especially the Eastonmade stuff compared to other things I've looked at. Their designs are pretty darn simple, and my way of thinking, simple a lot of times is better than overcomplicated and over-engineered. Like a lot of I don't want to say this and get people mad at me, like German stuff's over-engineered sometimes, and so it should work good. Oh, here comes one of my juts again. So always when I'm talking, a jut comes over, so here he comes. So there, it happens all the time. I mean, like about every second or third time I go to record, a jet flies over. You can't hear a thing I'm saying, but I just was going to keep talking. So now we're going to take this thing off right here. Now it's coming off. Nice and easy. It looks like, I don't know if this is threaded all the way or what the deal is, but there we go. Yeah, that's in good shape, that bolt there. Hardly any wear at all, and that's the original. Let's see, I gotta grab my rag here and wipe it off a little bit. But, yeah, look at that. Barely any, little bit of wear right there. Not much at all. A little bit of wear right here on these threads though. Oh yeah, quite a bit right there actually. That's on the, that must be, let's see if it goes right here. Yeah, that must be where the ram probably, there must be the end of the piston must push right there or something. But anyway, that's off. Let's see if I can get this thing off just by, oh, that was a piece of cake. Awesome, that was very easy. I thought I'd have to beat on it or something, but probably because there's a whole bunch of oil in there from somebody dumping it on there. Huh, maybe that's why it's working so good. It's not froze on. So there it is, there's the old one. That's what the inside looks like. If you guys can see that at all. And there's the underside of it where it slides. So again, very little wear right here. I mean, just a little bit, the paint's wore off. There's a little bit on this edge right here though. If you look right here, see this edge? It's got a little bit of curling right there. I don't know if that's what you call it, but it's metal's curling over where it slides up against the rail right there. That's for when it hits a piece of wood and it torques one way or the other, so it's moving a little bit. But so there's the old one. That one's off. We're gonna clean this baby up. Let's just get this all cleaned up. There we go. And then yeah, the other little bit of wear that I have, I'm gonna take you guys off the tripod and I'll do some close-ups or as close as I can get, and I'll show you some of the other little pieces of wear that I've had after, I don't know, 15 truckloads. So what is that, 15 times 15? What is that? That's a bunch of wood. You math majors, figure that out for me. Is that 300 cords? Something like that? Yeah. That's how much wood I've split, full cords. So right here, there's a little bit of rubbing right along this edge you can see here on the outside, but that's not too bad. I got to take this off of the tripod so I can show you guys easier here. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, right along this edge, there's some wearing on the table. It's kind of a sharp edge right here, is built up from where that slides. The wedge slides, or the plate slides right along here. So it's worn there, and on the other side, it's even more right in here. You can see there's an edge built up. And it's kind of, because it's supposed to look like this right here. It's just kind of a 90-degree corner, and you can see it's got an actual groove going right there. But not much. I mean, it's not bad. And there's a few you know, abrasions right in here from where stuff was probably chattering, or you know, the wedge was bouncing, but right in here there's hardly any. And on the other side there's almost nothing. Few lines in here, and that's about it. So now we're going to put the new one on. Okay, so I'm going to drop the new plate in, or the push plate. There, that's in. That was pretty hard to do. And I'm going to take off the bolts that it came with here. Okay, so I already loosened it up, and I only got a little ways to go yet here because I came around to this side so I could get the camera to show. So I already loosened it, and it's coming off, so I think we're good now. There we go. I'll slide this in. It should just go right in. Look at that. Just like sliding on a glove. Look at that. Obviously, their engineering is pretty precise, so that's a good thing. And the bolt should go right in also, I would think. I don't know if I gotta go forward or back a little bit here. That's going in. Or do I gotta go up or down? It's just a little bit off. There we go. I think I can twist it in. There we go. Just needed a little tapping. And I think I just hit the other side now, so I might have to turn it in. I just don't want to strip the threads or anything. Although I've got a spare with the old one, so no big deal. But this is the new bolt. Yeah, I can't turn it with my hand. I can just barely, oh geez, I'm just moving it now. Let's tap it in. Nope, still doesn't want to go. Oh, if I wiggle it, I can get it to turn a little bit. Oh, there she's coming out the other side. I just got to turn it in. Yeah, I brought sockets out, but these wrenches I like better because you get better grip with them all the way around, and I don't know, I just like they're longer, so you get more. I thought I was gonna have more pressure for getting them on and off and stuff like that. So, and these are my father-in-law wrenches I just inherited not long ago. So I like to use them on projects like this because these were some of the tools he used when he was a machinist, so it's kind of neat to use his tools again. And we're going to put the new nut on and then tighten that up. There we go. Don't want to bust my knuckles because I have done that. I've punched stuff before. I'm sure you guys have too. That is tight. Okay, so that one's good. Now we go underneath. Okay, so now this time, hopefully I aimed the camera a little differently so you should be able to see a little better. I don't know. We'll find out later, but I'll put the first, get it started here. There's one part of the way in. Here comes another plane. There we go, she's going in. There we go, that's pretty tight. So I think what we're going to do, I got that on, I think I'm going to show you a couple little things and we're going to go split some wood. Ooh, shiny and new. Here's the old one. Not so shiny, not so new. No, I just noticed when I turned it over, I didn't really look at this before, but here's the bottom. This is the front left side edge where it rubs here, and I'll turn this over so you can see. The other side has no wear at all on that side. So here's the, I'm gonna get it to stay here. Come on, there we go, good. So this is the top of the plate right here, even though it's upside down right now. So when it's running, this was on the side that'd be closest to me, so it'd be this edge right here. And that's the groove that was cut into that, as you can see, which you can see my finger next to it. It's a pretty good sized groove. So that's where it's scraping all the way along here. So there's either not enough, you know, play that or space there that's rubbing that it shouldn't, or it's just something that's going to happen. I mean, it's not going to wear through that. I mean, it's could probably work for 100 years like that, no problem. But there's the new one, all nice and shiny and new and bright, and she's attached. So I'm going to clean this old one up, put the parts back together. Going to do a little wipe down in this because I haven't wiped it down in a long time. We'll get some rags. We're going to clean it up, and then we're going to hook it up to the back of the truck, and I'm going to tow it. And I've got a few rounds over there. I've got some popple, I don't know what else, like maybe some oak over there. I don't have a lot, but I got a little bit of stuff to split, so we're gonna go do that and see how the new push plate works. There, I wiped her down a little bit and I got her kind of shiny, somewhat new, but I'm not trying to fool anybody here. This is a workhorse, not a show pony. I know a lot of guys get equipment and they just rub it and polish it and talk about it, but they don't really use it. I use my stuff, and I use it a lot, and I use it hard. That's why I got it. I'm not a guy that buys something and worship it. I like to use it. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I've got it kind of somewhat cleaned up, I am going to pull the single wedge off and put the double wedge on. I'll clean this thing out right away. I thought as soon as I'm doing this whole thing here, so see how easy it comes out. And I changed this out not too long ago, so there you go. Still some debris in there, and get that kind of cleaned up. Just kind of push it down the hole. Yeah, it's actually still pretty good and clean. Not too much in there. Because I only split a few face cords. Oh, and by the way, I did the math in my head after I had talked about the 15 times 15. It's 225. I realized that. So I said 300. So I know you guys were probably yelling at me, that's not 300, but It's 225. That's how many full cords I have split with this splitter, give or take a few. So I've done a bunch with it, and I'm just guessing that there's probably not too many other people that have split that many cords of wood with their Ultra that have them. I'm guessing most people don't do as much as I do with it. Maybe there's somebody, I don't know. Not saying there is or isn't, I just know I use mine a lot. So we're gonna drop this one in. Come on, get in there. I hit a hard spot. What's the deal here? Oh, I see, there's a big chunk of wood in there. That's not good. So I gotta hop up on top of here and yank it out. This is really the only way to do it. Come on, baby. Okay, maybe I'll just go down. There we go. Well, that's kind of loud. Okay, there. Okay, so now I gotta lift it up and shove this in, and I found the easiest way to do it is to lift it and then pull it towards me, and then just gradually let it work its way down to where I want it. Okay, go back down again. Okay, now it's stuck again. Jeez. Okay, so let's just get it where I want it first. Right about there, I think. And I've had a lot of comments from guys saying that I should adjust the height of it. And I've tried it higher, I've tried it lower. This just seems the best overall height for me. I found that if I go much lower than this, I end up having my top pieces a lot of times too big. If I go higher than this, my bottom pieces are a lot too big. This just seems about right. Ideally, yes, it would be nice to have an adjustable wedge where I could just go up a little, down a little. But a lot of times when I'm splitting, I'll actually hold the piece up a little bit, or I'll tilt it a little bit, or I'll have, you know, the back part will be here and I'll lift it up a little in front so I center it as much as possible. But because wood is wood, there's no perfect way to do this. And for me, that just seems to work pretty good. So I gotta drop this pin in before I forget here. There we go. So there we go. Now it's on. Now we're gonna hook up the tongue on the front. We're gonna hook it up to the truck. We're gonna pull it over to some wood and we're gonna start her up and see if it still works. So for those of you that haven't seen this before, haven't looked at any of my other videos, the Eastonmade ULTRA and a lot of the Eastonmade machines, they have a receiver on the front and the back, or back and front, however you want to look at it. So this tongue just fits in. I gotta get it out of the way. Just slides in. So you can take it off. So it's kind of like number one, a nice way to be able to move it around from either end, but also it's a nice anti-theft deterrent, because without this, it's pretty hard to move. I mean, I can do it, but it's not easy. So anyway, so that's it. So now I'm just gonna drop it up onto my ball here. Oh, come on, get in there. Oh, now I know why. It's because I have a 2 5/16 ball here. I have to turn it over to the 2-incher. And yes, I could use my little handy dandy cart, but I'm going all the way over the other side of the wood yard, and the truck is right here. And the grass and ground is nice and hard now, so I can drive pretty much anywhere I want. There we go. That's better. And we're not only going a little ways, I'm not gonna do anything else. So I'm gonna get the leg out of the way. She's ready to go for a ride. All right, so the eagle has landed. Let's do it the old way. Now I'll take the tongue off, and then I can stick the table, the end of the table anyway, right into here, which is where I want the wood to go. So I think for now we're just gonna set this over here on a stump. And then we're gonna move the machine in here a little bit farther. So I was just thinking while I was moving the splitter over here and getting into place that some of you are probably thinking this or asking this, and I do get asked this on the channel occasionally, is do I like the splitter? Do I love the splitter? What don't I like about it? Would I buy another one? What would I buy instead? A lot of people make suggestions to me as to what they think I should have as far as a splitter. You know, they think I should have a, what is it, a 1222 or a 511, whatever the numbers are that Eastonmade splitters are. There's a lot of really good ones. Or the Axis, which is very nice. But for me personally, this is a perfect splitter. It's affordable. It's only, I paid 3,500 bucks. I think they're $4,000 now, plus $1,000 to get it here. And it's built like a tank. It's very fast, as for those of you that have seen it. I mean, it's 4-second cycle time. It runs great. It does everything I want it to do. It's like I said, it's very mobile. I can move it anywhere. I can go to the wood and split it. I can go into a pile, go directly into a pile, and the splitter just moves itself right into the pile as I have the wood fall off the backside. Yeah, I'd buy another one. No question about it. And I've looked at a lot of different splitters even since I bought this. I've you know, watched a lot of other channels, and I've seen them working in person. I've ran a couple other brands. Yeah, I would get this one again, no question about it. Absolutely. Yeah, a bigger splitter would be nice. A bigger, faster one would be nice. But for the money, man, you just can't beat this thing. I had it paid for probably, I think the first truckload I did with it, well, no, I wouldn't have. So it was 35, so it was 4,500 bucks to get it. And I got the 4-way wedge with it. Oh, and I was $200 extra to get the single wedge, which I did. So it was $4,700 all in. And so that means 2 truckloads. So in 2 weeks I had it paid for of processing and selling wood. So no question about it. And it saves me so much time. Just the other day, my wife was asking, how come you don't work into the night anymore? Because it's like she's trying to get rid of me. But she just was saying that, you know, in past years, I would be out here in the dark till 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, especially into the winter. And this year, this splitter's so fast, and I have to work so much harder to keep feeding it that after 8, 9, 10 hours, I'm spent. That's as much lifting as I can do in a day. And yeah, everybody says, oh, you need a log lift on it. No, you don't. It works just fine just like this. If you're not having real big monster stuff, and if you are, just rip it down. You don't have to have everything. This works great. So for a guy just starting out, or if you got just a wood business where you're just getting going, or you know, you're looking at getting something a little better than a box store brand, this is just an excellent splitter. Absolutely excellent. I'd get another one. And I do 600 face cords, or that is equivalent to 200 full cords a year is what I split with it already this last year. Actually more than that, I think. Because I did a lot of freight stuff too. But anyway, doesn't matter. I split a lot of wood. So let's do it. Let's test it. Let's see if this new wedge works. There it is. I just split for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And my first impression, it's better. It's not like 100% better. It's not like the pieces just don't flare at all, because they have to flare when they go past the wings here the way they are. They have to, it has to move away, so you're naturally going to get some. But it doesn't pop apart as fast as it used to, as far as not pushing all the way through. It seems to split it a little further than before, with the push plate being a little bigger, because it's you know, a couple inches taller and maybe a couple inches wider. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, yeah, I like it a lot. Works really nice, and I think it's an improvement. I think it's a good improvement. Maybe a little bigger, but I don't think it was bad before, really. A lot of people complained about it, and they would watch me split. Oh, the piece flared out on you, you had to resplit it. Well, yeah, it's wood. Wood does that. Sometimes you hit a knot and it won't go all the way through, so it takes the path of least resistance, and it's not always going to be perfect. It's firewood, and it's work. That's the one thing that bothers me about what a lot of people say when they're talking about, well, you should do it this way, or you should do it that way. You don't know. You're not here. You're not handling it. Every piece of wood is different, and there's no perfect way to do it. Yes, you can make minor little improvements here and there, but the one fact remains: it's a lot of work, and it's hard work. And the more you do it, the more wood you split. It's kind of funny how that works. Kind of like regular work. If you do more of it, you get more done. So I'd like to split the rest of this, but I don't have time. I got to go do some other work now. I've got a whole bunch of boring work to do on the computer. I did have one little accident though. I had a piece get stuck towards the beginning there. I don't know if I'm going to leave it in the edit, but I yanked on it and pulled really hard, and I smashed my thumb really nice. It's bleeding around here, so I imagine I have a purple thumb now. I smashed it really good right up against the wing here. Just bam, hit it, and you probably aren't going to hear it on the video because there were some bad words said. So there it is. That is my 1 year review, basically. I mean, I've had the splitter for a year, and it's been working just fantastic. Love it, works great. I'd buy another one in a heartbeat. If you're thinking about it, order one now. They take a while to get, but I gotta tell you, they're worth the wait. Took me a while to get mine, but I love it, absolutely love it. I would say this and my dump trailer are probably the two best things I ever bought for my firewood business. As far as working the way they're supposed to work and saving me time, being more efficient. I didn't spend an arm and a leg for either of them. They were reasonably priced, and they work great. So you should get one. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. Hit the buttons, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share the videos to everybody you know. And if you hit that bell ringy-dingy thingy there, if you hit that, you know what happens? Every time a video of mine comes up, you're going to get to see it right away. You don't have to hunt for it. It'll just be served to you like a waiter. They do that. It's a YouTube thing, for those of you that don't know. And it's free. You don't have to even pay for it. So I would suggest you do that. So between now and tomorrow, when you come back, because I'll be back here tomorrow morning, 5:30 Central Time, 5:30 in the morning. I have a video every day. I expect you to be there watching, because everybody else is. So you don't want to be left out. So that's it for today, folks. Good night, Irene.